Today we are going to talk about homeostasis. Homeostasis is shown on page 179 in your book. It's very important to know the definition of homeostasis. Homeostasis is the maintenance of a constant internal environment. So when we say maintenance, to keep constant internal environment inside your body. For example, the temperature of your body is around 37. So it should be kept around 37 in order for enzymes to work properly and to work at the optimum pH and the fastest. Because if the temperature increases over 37, enzymes get denatured, and if the temperature decreases, they become inactive. So chemical reactions will be affected. That's why your body tries to keep your environment inside internal. It means the inside environment constant, no change, such as blood pressure, water concentration, glucose concentration, as also we said the temperature. In the previous chapter, we talked about excretion and kidney work. Blood pressure, the volume of water and salts, and water concentration is controlled by kidneys. So water concentration is controlled by kidneys by excreting extra or excess water. The same for blood pressure. Blood pressure, excess salt and excess water are removed by your kidneys through urination or through urine. So kidneys play a very important role in osmoregulation. And in this chapter, we are going to talk about glucose concentration and temperature regulation. So all of these stuff should be kept constant inside your body. As we know, since we are endotherms, endo, it means within or inside. Therms refers to thermal energy, which is the temperature. So here, our bodies, such as we are humans and other mammals, should be kept constant, the temperature inside our body. That's why endotherm, it means the temperature inside our body should be kept constant, around 37. Now, also we have other animals that are endotherms, such as birds. Also, we can call endotherms by warm-blooded. So the temperature should be kept relatively constant. And we are going to talk about the mechanism, how your body keeps the temperature constant. When we say ecto means outside. Therms, the same for temperature or thermal energy. That means that these organisms have the same temperature as the outside environment or the surrounding, such as fish, reptiles, amphibians, and most invertebrates. So ectotherms, the temperature of their bodies, the same as outside. That's why in cold weather or in the winter, they become inactive. They become inactive because the temperature drops or becomes less, so the enzymes are inactivated. That's why they become inactive, and they adapt with this by doing many behaviors. And one of these behaviors is the sleeping. That's why most of these become inactive and sleep in the winter or hide. So the first mechanism we are going to talk about is temperature regulation. So temperature regulation or control of body temperature is a homeostatic mechanism. As we said, it should be kept around 37 because the enzyme is going to get denatured if the temperature increases, and if it becomes less than 37, then the enzymes become less active. The first organ that is included in temperature regulation is the skin. So in the next slide, only you should identify on the drawing the highlighted structures. Other structures, no need to identify them on drawing, just to know their functions. That's it. Here is the structure of the skin. This is hair. Here we have hair erector muscle. It makes the hair either upright or to lie flat. So this muscle controls the movement of the hair. Here we have a sweaty gland. As you see, it is like coiled stuff. You have to identify it on the drawing. Here we have temperature receptors. If you feel something hot or cold, you feel it. And this is a very important role for the skin sensitivity. It allows you to sense the environment and to take an action. The same for a pressure receptor. If you feel that something actually presses in your skin, then you're gonna take an action in order to avoid further damage. Here we have also blood capillary. We have venule and arteriole. You have to identify their locations. And also we have fat cells that deposit underneath the epidermis. The first layer here, it is called epidermis, and we are going what it is made up of. And the second layer, which is called dermis. Epi, as we know, means upper. So it is the upper layer, while dermis is the lower layer. Here, beneath the epidermis, in the dermis, we have fat cells or adipose. Also, they are called adipose tissue, deposition of fat cells. Okay, so these organs that are highlighted, these structures that are highlighted should be identified on the skin organ. Okay, let's talk about the first layer, epidermis. Epidermis, it is the upper layer. It is made up of three structures. The first one is called cornified layer. The second one, it's called Malpighian layer. And the third one, which is called melanin pigment. Cornified layer, as we know, once cells divide or once they are renewed, they make new cells, of course, and the old ones die. Once the old ones die, they go gradually and move to the top, and they are filled up with keratin, which is waterproof, forming this layer, which is called cornified layer. So cornified layer is a layer that is made up of dead cells that are filled with keratin. Of course, it plays very important role in protection you against pathogens. The second one, which is Malpighian layer, here where renewing or division of cells takes place. So once your skin is renewing or once new cells are being made, they are dividing at this layer, Malpighian layer. Once they become dry, they go up to cornified layer. Now they are dead. The melanin pigment, as you know, it's a dark brown pigment. It helps the body against cancer or against harmful radiations from the sun or UV light. It absorbs the harmful radiation, which reduces the risk of having cancers such as melanoma or skin cancer. So this slide shows the main structure of epidermis and dermis. As we said, epidermis, cornified, malpighian, and melanin pigment. It's very important to recognize the difference between cornified and malpighian. Cornified made up of dead cells with keratin, malpighian where cells renew or divide. The dermis, it contains hair follicle, sebaceous gland, oily glands, sweaty glands, blood vessels, and nerve endings, and a layer of adipose tissue, which is fat, beneath the dermis as we illustrated in the figure. Thank you.